Hello and welcome to the Caim Circle Podcast. This is Jessa Francis. I am so happy to have you here listening today. So, what is the Caim Circle? The Caim Circle is a beautiful, wholesome community that is focused primarily on self-awareness, mind, body, and spirit. The Caim Circle has a framework, the CAIM, connection, awareness, integration, momentum, or mastery, or manifestation. And what else is the Caim? The Caim, the actual circle, the symbol, the word in itself means a circle of protection or a sanctuary of unconditional love. And it is a space where you can come home to yourself, where you can take that big, beautiful inhale and exhale. You can let your hair down, take your bra off. Where you can just be yourself. Today I am sharing the story of the Caim. How it started and what it is that I'm doing. So the whole thing started with a meditation. I was in the thick of swimming in my own ashes. My life had just burned to the ground. Everything that I thought my life was going to be had shifted. Every part of myself was under the microscope. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. I was lost and confused. And throughout that time, this what felt like 3 years of just constant dark night of the soul, I was diving deep into the recesses of my mind. I was pulling myself apart. I was excavating stories from my past. I was writing all of it down, and I was writing memoirs. And so I was taking all of these memories and looking at them like from a completely different viewpoint, right? Because I was looking at my younger years from this older woman's perspective, from a completely different person's perspective. And as I was writing these stories, writing these memoirs, I was recognizing that, I had been programmed, that all of, my original wants and dreams had not necessarily been mine. And so now I was in this place of trying to figure out what really was mine, what I really wanted versus what everyone else wanted for me. And, I had gone through significant pain, and I had put myself through the pain. It was so much of it was self-inflicted. I was divorced. My husband had full custody. Well, not full custody. We shared custody, but he, had physical custody of the kids. And that was just insane to me. I did not know how to deal with that. I did, I had been a stay-at-home mom for over 12 years. I had been their sole provider for so long. And then all of a sudden I, went on this journey to better myself, to get my degree and to quote unquote fix myself, and it ended up, just being this wild roller coaster into a land of deep, deep confusion and loss and grief and shame and pain. And through that, I slowly, gradually uncovered myself. And, it's interesting because I thought that the most of the hard part was going to be over when I left Scotland. And if you haven't heard, more of my story, hang tight. It'll come. But I had gone to Scotland, and I'd gotten my master's degree in creative writing, and I recognized in myself this deep desire to want to be in nature, to want to travel, to want to write, and particularly to want to help other people write their stories, or to write their stories for them, right? I was healing through my story slowly, but I was healing through my story. But I got back to the States, and I still didn't know what the heck I was doing. And so, I just very happenstance, became a non-alcoholic beverage consultant. And we can go through that whole story another day, but I had been, helping start up and run this non-alcoholic bottle shop, and getting to taste and try all the different products, and learning about the ins and outs of starting up a business, and particularly starting up a business that is grounded in conscious consumption and the owning of your relationship with alcohol. And so there were so many things about that resonated deeply, deep with something in me. Because who I was someone that wanted to have impact on the world. That much I had figured out, at least. I wanted to have impact on a large scale. I wanted to have a large scale impact on the world. And so I knew that about myself. And I knew, sachet wasn't forever. I knew that wasn't my end goal. But I didn't know what was going to come next. But I had this sense, and this new budding sense of trust in something outside of myself that I was calling the universe, right? That the universe was somehow going to have my back and going to lead the way, right? And I kind of did the whole Jesus take the wheel thing. I started up my own consultancy, Untoxicated, after leaving Sachet, and wanting to be with my kids more often. So it was really just needed to be as remote as possible. And I wanted to do retreats. That was the dream. When I was out wandering the hills of Scotland and writing my memoirs, I thought, this is medicine. I want to take people on these adventures. And not only for everyone else, for myself, because it was so healing and it was so beautiful. And I just loved it so much, but I was also lonely and didn't want to be out there by myself. Right. And so I wanted to be able to take people on a journey, a physical journey, and a mental, emotional, spiritual journey, where they were able to tap into who they were. Because that was the plague that was making me so sick my entire life, was I don't know who I am, and I'm constantly trying to base myself off of everything and everyone else. And the only way that I was able to get to myself was to go on that deep, dark, lonely journey. But I realized that didn't have to be the way. It really didn't. And so I'm out there trying to sell non-alcoholic drinks, and trying to connect with like-minded people that were in the holistic community, right? Because I knew that much, that I wanted to be a part of people who were healthy, who cared about their health, mental, emotional, physical, right? And next thing I know, I'm getting connected with this, what, we call the holistic community. So a part of, functional health doctors and coaches, life coaches, different ceremonialists and yoga teachers and all of those, things. And I got told, like, if you want to do retreats and you want to do nature and writing, you should just become a yoga teacher too. Like, make it a full, well-rounded thing. And I was like, at first I was like, nah, I don't know about that. I grew up in Taekwondo and I wanted to get back into martial arts, and I was in physical fitness big time, right? But I was in strength training. So I thought I was going to be teaching like HIIT classes and maybe some self-defense and things like that. But then I just found myself signing up. Like, I just, without any thought, it was, very much, like I said, like the universe was leading the way. And I just found myself signing up at the Akanda Institute and getting my, like, this pre 200-hour course, and then signing up with soul work and getting like restorative and prenatal and children's and yoga of the mind and breath work and meditation and all of these different trainings, all of these different certifications. And I just fell real hard for this 8-limbed path of yoga, this Eastern practice of yoga, because it was not only giving me a community to tap in through soul work and the Akanda Institute, but it was also really helping me. This was all a trauma-informed training. It was also, supporting me like almost like a therapist, right? I was looking at Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which is the slowing of the fluctuations of the mind. I was moving into the seat of the witness, right? All of this work that I had done with my memoir writing, now I was being given and shown not just what the programming was and the awareness of it all, but being given a pathway of how to integrate it, right? How to actually see the shifts, see the changes in my life, and to take all of this new knowledge and slowly be able to figure it out. So, like I said, the Caim Circle came to me through meditation. So I had gone through the memoir writing, process, and was writing my memoirs, gotten my master's degree. And then I'm, hundreds of hours in to all these yoga teacher trainings. And at the same time, like, getting really fascinated with meditation in itself, because there's all of these different meditations. And a lot of it's not really even quote unquote meditation. It's more these guided visualizations. And my mother, who really loved yoga nidra and wanted to, support my nervous system, as she knew I was just out there in the world, frazzled as all get out, right? I was like, okay, this yoga nidra and these guided visualizations, and I'm learning from Emily Fletcher at the Ziva Institute. I'm learning from Gabrielle Bernstein and Deepak Chopra, and there's so many different meditations out there. And then I'm I'm learning about the chakra systems and the vayus and the nadis and all of the other things that come with yoga. And so I started kind of putting together my own sort of, oh yeah, and Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza was a big part in this too, right? Because it was like this manifestation thing. And I'm like, well, what am I manifesting? Right? Like, I didn't know what am I manifesting. Like, I needed to know what that was, right? Who am I? What is my dharma? What is my purpose? What am I here to do? Like, how do I take all of these different parts of myself and make them into this cohesive vehicle, put them into this cohesive vehicle that could roll down the road together and head off towards this beautiful sunset in the future. And so I laid down and I put myself basically I put myself into theta, right? So our brain waves, right? We're constant in a state of like beta waves, and then we want to switch into an alpha wave where we're more focused. But then with Yoga Nidra, we want to get into what's called the theta brain waves, and that's where we can start writing on the subconscious and looking at the subconscious and doing like that unconscious work, right? Playing with that. And so I laid down and I put myself into this deep meditative state through the Yoga Nidra and through some breathing and this my own guided visualization where I was sitting with each chakra center. Okay, so I'm going from root to crown. Okay, and so root, we've got stability and safety. Sacral, we have creativity, sensuality, flow. And then the Manipura, the solar plexus or the navel. You've got the confidence, the willpower, the I can manifest, I can energy. And then you've got the heart, which is love, compassion, the throat, communication, third eye, your intuition, and the crown connection. Right? So just a quick overview of those chakras. And so I was taking all of my memories that I had dove into, and I was bringing awareness. Like, so I went to the root, and I thought with my root, right? Where in my life, what memories do I have of every time that I had ever felt safe, that I had ever felt like I belong here. I'm rooted, I'm stable here, right? So I just let all of as many good memories as possible flood in, right? Where had I felt truly safe? What were those memories, right? And then I did the same thing for every chakra center. And what I was shown, my goodness, like I was shown so many different beautiful memories. Or I remember, I was having my memories about when I was teaching writing, when I was a writing coach, when I was teaching Taekwondo, and I was instructing, and we were yelling out the integrity, indomitable spirit, and courage, like doing this beautiful work of self-awareness and reflection within this martial art. And then things like when I was painting, when I was out dancing in nature, when a friend was coming to me with a problem and I was able to support them. There's this flood of beautiful, joyful memories that came over me. And the next thing I know, I was envisioning this woman, me, the highest version of myself. And she is walking out in nature and she is guiding this group of people through this beautiful, it was like like it flowed, right? There was one moment where we were all doing yoga together, another minute where we were doing breath work and meditation and connection to nature together. We were doing writing together, we were holding hands and connecting. It was just this absolutely beautiful visualization of me being able to facilitate and hold and speak and share and support this group of people through this journey of self-awareness, right? Like I was leading everyone in this group home to themselves. I was helping them do the work that I had been doing. Like I had turned my pain into power, right? And I woke up from that, my ears are filled with water, with the tears that I had been crying from joy, from happiness. And at first, I didn't call it the Caim Circle. I came up with I was like, it's an empowered path to self-awareness. Like that's it. Like what is it? It's an empowered path to self-awareness. And so that's what it was originally. And if you go back and you listen to episode 1, you'll hear like, welcome to the empowered path, right? And that's a very well used name. So I needed to come up with something new, something unique. And the Caim, it came to me because I was diving also into my ancestry and fell in love with the Celtic, Gaelic, language. And I found, and I'd already a long time ago had forgotten that I had found the Caim. And so it's this braided circle of protection, right? And I was also deeply, deeply inspired by my grandmother. My grandmother who had been my sanctuary, my grandmother who had been my safe space, my circle of protection, where I could be seen and heard and loved just as I was, even in my confusion. And so I definitely, I took that and just started moving forward, right? I knew I wanted it to incorporate nature. I knew I wanted it to incorporate physical health, your body, how to move your body, how to use your body, how to connect with your body, how to eat well, fitness and nutrition. I knew I wanted it to include the memoir and the shadow work and that connection, that awareness, right? That self-awareness. And then the meditation and the breath work and the yoga, like all the things that I had been working on, even the alcohol-free stuff, like this mindful thinking to own your relationship with what you're consuming, not just alcohol, but just what you're consuming, conscious consumption. And I was like, okay, finally, all of these parts of myself, all of these things that felt kind of scattered in the wind and everywhere. I was like, I can put them in one place. It's all of me in one place, mind, body, and spirit, right? And that was originally, I sectioned everything out that way, mind, body, spirit. And I started creating these 21-day programs and these 3-month programs and trying to work out, how to gradually guide people through this journey of self-awareness. And then one day, very recently, I woke up and I was like, I need to, that's not it. Something else needs, I need to figure this out. And I broke down the Caim, CAIM. C for connection to self, connection to source, and connection to sanctuary, right? This is our foundation. We have to connect with ourselves when we use our breath work, we use our meditation, we use our yogic practice, we use, that time in nature. And in that same way, we're connecting with source, right? When we connect with ourselves that way, we naturally connect with source, or what I call is source, right? The universe. God, but all religions welcome. And then sanctuary, because we're not meant to heal in isolation. This is not a solo journey. We need one another, and we're doing this for one another. We are doing this for the ripple effect, right? And then so I had the connection, and then awareness. Awareness of patterning, of programming, awareness of everything, right? This is where we do the journaling prompts. This is where we do the shadow work. This is where we do the memoir writing. This is, where we ask ourselves the hard questions, right? And then you can't get stuck there. You got to integrate, right? So the I was integration and embodiment of, right? We had to actually take this and move it into real time. You can't just do the ceremony. You can't just do the yoga class. You have to take it off the yoga class. You have to take it out of the ceremony. You have to move forward with it into real life. And then from that, what do we get? We build momentum. We create, we build such a beautiful, strong relationship of love with ourselves. We are able to self-actualize and get to that sense of self-mastery. That's where we can manifest what we want, right? Because we are able to actually be the masters of our own energy. And when we master our own energy, that's where you can begin manifestation, right? And build that momentum that gets you where you want to go into the world. So I just was like, yes, like I got it. And finally, and it just clicked. It was just like filled my entire body, my whole chest, my whole heart space just like ballooned out. Like right now I can feel it, like my ribs want to throb out, because I'm just like, oh, it's finally, like, this is my legacy, man. This is me. This is all of me. And this is what I'm like, that what I'm telling you, like these questions, like, who am I? What am I here doing? What's my purpose? What's my dharmic path? Blah, blah, blah. Trust me, baby, you will feel it when it hits, because I feel it. I feel it big time, and there is no going back. There is no turning away from this. There is no, it's never, ever, ever like gonna end for me, because this is me, right? It is like, it would be like turning away from myself. This is it. And it may morph, it may shift, all of the things, but this is it. Right. And so every day it's just me it's me waking up as and for myself, like as my highest self, like highest timeline. Like like I'm going to show up for myself, and I'm going to show up the world, and the ripple effect is going to be great. And I'm going to have that large scale impact, and I can feel it. And, like I can like immediately pump up my energy, because I can get so excited about it. And don't get me wrong, this shit is hard, so hard. Okay, it is not for the faint of heart. No. You gotta be ready. You gotta know your why. You have to do the work. And that's what I'm showing. That's what I'm sharing. That's what's beautiful about it. Like this is like business training, life training, motherhood, like all of it, all in one place, and with community, with a framework that works, and I'm here living it. I am here living it. I'm here embodying it. I'm here doing the dang thing. Got a Substack, got a podcast, got the socials, got the, got the multiple jobs, doing the ceremonies, teaching the yoga. Like, I'm just going, man, and it just lights me up all the time. And that's like, what else are we here for? We are God, and we're God experiencing itself, and I'm experiencing it. Like, this is my life. I am experiencing it. Like, I used to like have such a hard time with like, oh, how do I stay in the present moment? No, I am, whew, The present moment is where it is at. And so, yeah, no, it's just incredible. It's incredible. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do today. I wanted to share how the Caim Circle got started, the why behind it, the why, because it's me, because not only is this me, but it's everyone. It's everyone. Right? And it's beautiful and it's magic. So like, it's just a matter of like finding the people that resonate with me. Like, oh yeah, yep, Jessa, she's the one for me. Right? I love being around her. If you love being around me, then you're gonna love me in the Caim Circle. If you don't like me and you're like, no. You know what I mean? Like, and that's okay. There's billions of us. Like, I would love to help millions. And we'll see. Right? But I'm here living the day today. Oh, and it's good. It's even when it's bad, even when it's really freaking hard, even when I'm scared out of my mind, even when I'm feeling scarcity, lack, comparison, even with all of that, I wouldn't choose anything else, because this is it, and that's what I want to help you find. I want to help you find you, because that's what this world needs. And so I'm constantly bringing myself back to me. How do I become more me? How do I show up as more me? Right? Despite the books and the podcasts and the trainings and the certifications and all of the things that I have learned and continue to learn, how do I take all of that information and just apply it to me and make it, come out from the meanness? Oh, all right, my beautiful friends. I think that is what I wanted to share today. The Caim Circle. What is it? Why? Where did it come from? How did it start? There she is. This is essentially season 2. I took a break throughout the summer and back at it. And yeah, memoir writing coach, holistic life coach, trauma-informed yoga teacher, alcohol-free beverage consultant, mother, veteran, compassionate, creative, charismatic, adventurous, feral, country, silly, authentic, earthy. That's me. And if you would like to join me on this one beautiful adventure, come into my circle where you will be seen, you will be heard, you will be held without judgment. And you will be given that empowered pathway forward to help you know you, to help you heal, to help you grow, to help you thrive, to help you connect, get aware, integrate, and manifest the life of your dreams. That's what I'm doing here. And I'm so freaking grateful. I could cry. Just tears of joy for how amazing and beautiful. Like I said, despite all the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows and the life and the death and the bright light and the shadow that comes with all of it, I'm here for it, and I am so grateful to have been honored with waking up another day, putting feathers in my hair and dancing around, and to do this work, to share this, to be this. I'd like to offer everybody to take a big inhale in and sigh it out. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. Once again, inhale in. Bring your hands to your heart. Exhale out. Feel that heartbeat. One more time, inhale. You are worthy. Exhale, exhale, exhale. You are worthy. You are so special. We need your light. We need your light in this world more than ever. Love to have you come learn what that light is. Help shine that light out a little brighter every day. If not, I wish you well on your journey. And yeah, love to see you here next week. New podcast every Thursday. Love you, love you, love you. Have a beautiful and happy day. Hariom.